Yeah, let us start with networking. Let me configure a listener here on this server. 65, let us configure a listener. Before we configure a listener, let us put a variable called tnsadmin where we will store our network file. So let us create a directory for this. Let us create a directory by setting it echo $tns admin. So let us create a directory for this mkdir -p for creating a directory recursive. So go to our tnsadmin and create a listener. So how to create a listener is listener configuration is stored in a file called listener.org. Okay. LISTENER. So listener name can be anything, Anjiprasad, or you can say listener 1 equal to description equal to address is equal to host is equal to /65 colon. When you say listener, you need to also have a port number. So let me take 1530 is a port. Default it is 15 naught, and protocol is TC. Close this, and this finishes the listener configuration. So you can start a listener now. lsnrctl start list1, the listener name. Listener will start. You can see the port number and this. There are two ways of registering your database with the listener. One of the way is static registration. Let me show you a static registration. For a static registration to do with the listener, you need to know two variables: Oracle host on which your database is running and your Oracle SID. If you know these two things, you can definitely go on set your static listener configuration. So for this listener, you can give SID underscore the list underscore list1. One listener can support or give connections to multiple databases also. SID underscore list. You can do multiple SIDs here, and inside it you can describe SID underscore DESC equal to Oracle host is equal to where it is running. You have to specify this is where it is running, and you have to give the SID underscore name where you have to specify your instance name. So if you do this, close the braces, close the SID description, and finally close the SID list. Now if you start your listener will be able to show you the service. Let me start a listener. You can see very clearly there's a service called, this listener opens a service called Prasad. When someone comes to the door of this listener and knocks it, it will give a connection to this instance, but someone should ask it with this name. Someone should ask with which name? This name. Here in this case, the name of the listener, name of the instance, and the name with which you should ask the listener is same. Okay, default it will take instance name. You can also change it. That I will show you in the other configuration. So now to connect to it, we need to have a client. So let us take this as a client. So this is my client. In the client env, I'll just have this is a client mission where a TNS admin also. $TNS admin. So you can see there will be a file called tnsnames.vara. You can have this. You can specify here Prasad 11 is equal to description. You don't need to give spaces here, but in the past you need to give, in the listener definition, spaces are important. Address is equal to host equal to, you can take this, and protocol, and close this, and this is an address. Then the second one is connect data, connecting data, to whom to connect, is equal to SID and is equal to, and what is the instance name? You can give SID means instance name you should give. Close the connect data, finally close the description. So now you have stored everything in one file, and this file is called tnsnames.vara, and this name is called alias name. This is called alias name. So if you have a database that's up, let us connect locally ABC by ABC. This database don't have a user. There's a user, but keep the acceptability. Grant create session to the ABC. Now you will be able to connect ABC by ABC. If you say it's equal to local connection, you can see a local connection with an SID. So there are two connections. The other one is a different connection which was established some time back. And this is my connection. Now there's only one connection which I've connected. This is equal to local is equal to SPE. Now here you can check, you can do, like if your friend's phone is working or not, how do you check? You'll do a missed call. You can do a missed call to the listener using a command called tnsping. So if it replies you back, and it will also tell you how much time it has taken round room, means your listener is up. If the listener is down, you will get a different message. If you want to remotely connect to the database using a networking, you have to use ABC by ABC at the rate your alias name. This is a way you connect, and it made another connection to your database, and you can see, and you will see local is equal to no for this. This is local is equal to yes, and this is local is equal to no. So these are the two things of connections you will be finding it. Okay. So otherwise you can even connect like this without anything. You can just give your IP address. You can give an IP address, colon, port number, slash the inside. You can even do this way also. You can connect. You don't need to store. You can even store this way. Now let me show you another one. There is something called global name. Shall we start from? How do you check the global name? How do you check a global name? You can also check like this, database underscore property name, property value, database properties, where property name like percentage global. Your global name, global underscore DB name, you can see. There's also another way to see it. We can change it. Alter database set global underscore name to, normally you have to give the domain name for the global name. connected. No? Let him on the net once. Interact. Changing the global name of the database. That's not set. Rename my code. Rename global underscore name. This is the command. You can change a global name like this, and you can see the global name is changed. Okay? Alter database rename global underscore name. So let's start from global underscore. So let's start from global underscore name. It will allow you. Now I can change my listener to listen in a different pattern. So previously you have seen listener listening on the same name of the instance name. You can change. Listener can listen to any name. Global underscore equal to, you can give the fully qualified name of the database. The domain name and the database name is called fully qualified name of the database. So you can also use reload instead of stop start. In that case also the new configuration will go. You see? The listener is listening with the name, but when you call on this name, it will give a connection to this. You can directly call this, or you can also call this. Let us see. The TNS names you can use. If you look in the TNS names, you are using SID. This also works. This also works. Or you can also change it. Instead of giving SID name, service underscore name. If you use service name, SID earlier in the past, this would have worked. Because at the time, service name and SID name is same. But now, service name is different from a SID name. What is your service name? You can see here, this is a service name. Earlier service name and SID name is same. In your TNS you give SID or service name, it will work. But here you should be specifically giving what is service name and what is SID name. So there are two things in your TNS names. You can give SID or service name. Earlier, if you see, I used like this, right? Here it worked. Now it will not work. So if you want to give from command line, it should be service name. In the past, Prasad 11 is a service name, so it worked. SID you cannot give, you have to give a service name. Do you understand this networking? With additional things, you can store the client side on a DNS names. You can use service name or SID, any of it you can use. Okay, this way you can use this. Now let us take two databases talking with each other. So I have a database on 45. Let me not go to the client. Let me go to the database. Any database I will take. I will take a database called Pawan. This database can have any version, doesn't matter a specific version. The two databases talking need not have the same version, they can have a different version. Okay? Two databases that are talking need not have the same version, they can have even a different version also. Now in this database, I'm going to create an object that stores all the details what I have used at command line to connect to a database. Did you get me? To connect to a database, you need username, password, and network details. Network details we are putting in alias name. Okay? So those things I will store as a database object. I will store all these details, username, password, and the network related information I will store in an object. That object is called database link. If I have that object, I can connect to a database. Okay? So let us take this database has any tables. Start from tab. No tables. Okay. I will tell you a small difference. Let me create a user here. First. Create user XYZ identified by XYZ. This database I cannot use. It's a standby database. It's only a read-only database. Let me bring up this database and see. Okay, we have a database here. So let us see in the game how to change a database name. Because both the sites same database name, I don't want you to confuse it. So this is you check the database name and its condition. You can also check the instance name. I'm going to show you now how to change database name and how to change instance name. This is how you check an instance name. So to change a database name, it's very simple. Shut down your database. Changing a database name. There's a tool called NID. New database ID, that's used for changing a database name. We will see how to use this tool to change a database name. Because both the places same database name, I don't like it. I want it to be a different one. No, it's not finding. So changing a database name, before you change, what you should do is you should mount your database. Mount your database to change its name. Database name is there in the P file, or if it is using SP file, it's using B file. Database name is there in the P file. Database name is there in the control file. Database name is there in the data file headers. Database name is in the redo logs. There's a tool called NID, help is equal to y. Most of the Oracle tools works with help is equal to y. NID, target is equal to 6 byte. Welcome. DB name, the new database name, 311. Log file, if you say, it will not show you on the screen, it will put it. Set database name only. This will change the database name, and it will change the database name in all the database files. It's asking you, is this the control file? I'm changing my database name here to yes. Yes, if you say. Everywhere, every data file, including the log files, it will change the database name. Modify P file parameter to generate a new password file before starting. If you are using a password file, if you change them, the password file do not work. That's what it takes. And here I have not changed the instance name. Instance name remains to be the same. Only the database name has been changed. So this is not required. Okay, leave it. And this is the way you get 311 is the database name. The database name has been changed. You can go and start it. The database comes up. And you see in this example, database name is different from an instance name. Now I'll also show you how to change the instance name. So you can see the database name has been changed. And you still see the instance name is an old instance. How to change the instance name? Very simple. Go to your env file. Change your Oracle SID. After changing your Oracle SID, if you say startup, it will throw you an error. There's no P file. Because it will always look for which P file? No. Change it. The location of the files and other things are not changing. It is only, and database will have the same data. Now you set it. If you say SQL plus, it will throw you an error. Startup, it will throw you an error. There is no P file. Yes, if your SID is 311, the P file should also be in it. In it. Sorry, 11. Now it will work. This has changed the instance. So from this example you can understand instance name and database name need not be same. They can be different. Instance name and database name. So instance name will be there in the P file and the name of the P file also will be the instance name. Database name will be there inside the P file as a DB underscore name, inside the control file, inside the P file, inside the data file headers, inside the redo log file headers, everywhere it will be there. You see, instance names. Okay, so in this database, I just want to create a user. Create user XYZ identified XYZ. User XYZ is already there itself. That's good. So select start from tab. Okay, this user also has an EMP table. Select start from EMP. It's good. He has so many records. Fine. Wonderful. Now let us create a user called PQR. create user PQR identified by PQR. Grant connect comma resource to PQR. Login as PQR and create a table EMP. Create table EMP as select start from. Select start from EMP. His table you will see. Grant select on EMP to XYZ. Login as XYZ. Now XYZ can see two tables. Select start from table underscore name from user underscore tables. You will see two tables. Select star from all underscore tables. If you see, he will shows you all the tables he can see. You see, he can see two EMP tables. One is his own, one is his. So owner, comma table name from all underscore. So he sees most of the one PQR object he sees. He sees his own tables. He sees the tables like dual and all of them which are owned by us because they have a public synonyms where he can see 30 tables he can see. But he is only having two tables. And these two tables is called schema. Put together these two tables is called schema XYZ. User is different, schema is different. User is a one with which you log in. Schema is a collection of objects or the objects owned by a user. The collection of objects owned by a user is called as a schema. If you ask me what is the schema here, schema, the XYZ schema contains D, BT and EM. But XYZ can see these many tables that are granted to him. Now if we want to see his table, select star from count of star from EMP. He will see his own table. If we want to see other EMP table, PQR.EMP has to see. Means his own table directly he will see. If the table is owned by someone else, he has to use owner name dot schema name dot. It's called owner is also called a schema name dot. It is in whose schema? PQR schema. The first one, when you are not specified anything, it's going to use his default schema. For XYZ user, default schema is his own schema. Even you give XYZ.emp or you don't give anything, if you don't give the schema name before a table name, it will always use from the default schema of the user. What is the default schema of the user? The user name itself. The schema name will be equal to the user name. Now let us see an interesting point here. So let this user, before we jump into the user, let us go to TNS and let us create a TNS here. This is not required for us here. So I just cp/prod client network admin network TNS names. So you can put any directory anywhere. Okay. TNS ping. So, okay. Now this user XYZ can connect to the other database provided he has a. So you can create an object that stores all the details, like to connect to the database over there, what do you need? ABC by ABC at the rate 3 things. You can store these things. Okay, so this is there, you can connect. Now you can log in as a user XYZ and create an object in the database called dblink. Create database link. Very simple, it's a link to the database. You can put any name. You can put a database name, username and database name. Connect to which user? ABC. identified by ABC. Using, you can use this alias name. That's it. Three things. Those three things you can do. Insufficient privilege means the user cannot create it because he doesn't have a privilege. Grant, create database link to XYZ. Right, sir? Allocate. Right. Database link is created. You can see the details of your DB link. User underscore DB underscore links, where you have the database link name like this, connecting to the user ABC using the alias this. Now you can even, if this user has a table, select star from tab and user. Select star from at the rate the DB link name means, then it will go there and see there are no tables. Let me create a table here. Create table EMP as select star from. This user do not have any privileges. Grant resource. Resource will give you a lot of privileges. Let us connect as the user ABC and create it. Insert into EMP. Select star from. You can see the tables here and the data in the table. You can see all the tables in this schema. You can see this table. Select star from or count of star from EMP, count of star from xyz.emp in the same database. Sorry. So PQR means a different schema. .emp. Select star from EMP at the rate DB link. When it comes to DB link, you need to say EMP at the rate. So using DB link, what I can do? So you can pull data, you can push data. You can pull data, you can push data. Let me show you how do I do it. So create table EMP as select star from pqr.emp. Can I do this? Yes. If this statement works, if this statement works, this statement works. Right? Create table EMP as select star from EMP at the rate. So select statement is happening there and in create statement is happening here. data is pulled. Not only that, the table is there, no data. Insert into EMP. Select star from, but you need to commit it. Means I can take a table and create a table here. I can read the data there and insert into my table. I can further insert. Now this table has how many records? 32. 2 times I have inserted. Okay? You can do insert, you can do, means you can pull the data. I am doing a pulling of a data. So now let me show you. Truncate table here. Select star from. Okay. Or select count of star from in this database. I can push data, I told you. Insert into EMP at the rate, means don't insert into my local table. Select star from. The data is read from this table and inserted. If I say commit, the commit happens there. You can see again, truncate table, no records. Insert into. Until you commit, it will not show you. Yes, you committed, the commit will happen here. So you can push data, but using a DB link, you cannot do this. Create table EMP1 at the rate this as select. Where I am selecting table? Here. Where I am trying to insert? Where I am trying to create? This will not work. DDL operations do not work across a DB link. Similarly, truncate is a DDL or DML? Huh? Truncate at the rate, truncate table EMP do not work. But delete from EMP at the rate, this works. And where is it deleted? The remote. Truncate do not work because it's a DDL statement, but you can have another workaround for it, delete all the records you can do. But at database level,